Hi, hello, how are you, Amanda? Saint Artist. We're going to talk about hyperpigmentation. This is a conversation that's been coming up a lot lately with my team, with my customers, with people, and I want to talk about it because it's not one size fits all with hyperpigmentation. We've got to take into account placement, discoloration, color, skin tone. So what works for me is suede. Does that work for everybody? Nope, because it all depends on placement. This also plays into freckles, which can come up on your cheeks and on your nose. So putting a dark color like suede is just not going to work the same. So I'm going to talk about it. I don't have freckles on my nose, but I can still talk about it because I've done makeup on people. So just because I don't have it doesn't mean I don't know anything about it, because I've put makeup on women as old as, I believe she was 96. That was the best. It was such an incredible learning experience. I loved it. So I've done makeup on all different ages, all different skin types. So I know a thing or two, just a thing or two. And with that experience, I get to come and talk to you guys. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show a couple of different ways. I should have gotten some other colors out. So I'm going to just grab a palette and we're just going to wing it because I don't feel like starting this over again. I'm not going to lie. It's the fourth time. All right. So there's two ways. You can do a camo method, which is more for people who have hyperpigmentation that really takes up a lot of their cheeks and up over their nose, freckling or hyperpigmentation. My hyperpigmentation is really on the driver's side window and it sits back here, which is why suede works so well for me. Another option, if you have a darker skin tone than me, is using walnut. You could use a contour. I like using something dense like a contour. You can use demi. I recommend doing that over makeup, but I'm talking about under makeup today. And for me, I like using something dense so I could have it stay where I put it and hold my makeup on. So here's what we're going to do. I recommend getting something like the blend brush. It's small and it's lightweight application. And you're not wanting to put full coverage on, you're wanting to camouflage, which is very different. There's muting, there's camouflaging, and then there's applying. So I don't like to have a lot of makeup on, and this is a way for me to still have that minimal makeup but still pack the punch of coverage. Right? I mean, that's what we all want. So for me, when you have it on the perimeter of your face, I'll recommend something like suede or walnut as a coverage. And if you have really deep dark skin, we'll talk about other contour colors. I don't recommend bronzers because they have a little bit of warmth that can grab and pull it through. So that's why I do it that way. I like to use more cool tones, more dense tones. Bella's very creamy. All right, I'm going to use the fluffy end of my blend brush. I know it's a lot of talking before actually sticking it on, but we're learning here. Okay. All right. So my hyperpigmentation, this one's really bad. Not really bad, but this is my biggest one. So I put it on here. Shake that brush. You kind of want these bristles to be feathered out and not so isolated together. And I'm going to go around. This is camouflaging, like when our men go hunting. And I bring it up. So I have hyperpigmentation that comes up and around my brow here because it's the driver's side window. The sun shines in and then it just pulls it through because usually, you know, mom life, our hair's in a bun. Anyway, I'm putting this around. It doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't our coverage. This is our camouflage. And so you're still going to kind of see it, but this is going to help with coverage, with applying over top to hide it, but it mutes it down. I pick suede and I try to pick colors that are close to the tone of your hyperpigmentation. And that's why I do it that way. Sometimes you don't need a camouflager. You just need highlight. There are some highlights that are really great for hiding that. And so it just depends on your skin. And I take that into account because I don't want to make you buy everything, but I try to take into account not overcomplicating things, but sometimes you just need that extra kick. I need that extra kick. All right. The other option you can do, and I'm going to do that over here because I have some coming in over here and up. Not as bad as this side. So this side I like using something dense, but you can also go the camo method. And that is a 3 highlight method. I don't use it a lot, but it is a method that does work. And that's where you use a tone darker than your skin tone to camouflage the problem. And then you have your main highlight to apply and your brightening highlight to brighten. Okay. I also take into account what contour I'll recommend. I don't think indigo is the best option when it comes to applying contour when you have a lot of perimeter discoloration because it does have some redness into it and it can pull it through. So I do take that into account also. All right, we're going to do a camo color. I'm going to use the same blend brush and I'm going to go into Hazel. I just got to find it now. Where's Hazel? I used the heck out of it this summer, so this could be, it is. I need to buy more Hazel. So Hazel is too dark for me. And so I'm going to take this fluffy brush and we're going to camo method this. And that's where we take it all right here where I have discoloration. And I put this on and I cover it and you build. And I'm going to hide it with this cream. Now I put this on a little heavier than I will put on the suede because it's not as dense. So I just cover everything up, but it is too light for my skin, and then I bring it up over that discoloration and up. And this is a great option. This works for acne. This works for hyperpigmentation. It can work for rosacea also. And so you can just pop this up and drape this up, depending on where it is. If it's over your nose, this is a really great option. If you have hyperpigmentation up onto your nose, if you have freckling, this is a great option. And I will take that into account. So you put it on and you would just drape it over your nose like this. And it's okay because we still are going to apply our 3D foundation over it. But when you have stuff, there's a couple extra steps to take. There's nothing wrong with that. It's really about what kind of finish do you want. If this is something that's important that you really want hidden, then you're going to do the extra work. If you don't mind it, don't worry about it. How about that? All right, now we can go into applying our makeup. So camo method, using a camouflage color. I am currently using Athens as my main highlight. I am going to use a detail brush. I want to use the 3D brush, but it's so dirty and I don't want to clean my brush. So I'm using this one because it's the least dirty in my drawer here. I'm looking. I'm trying to find something that'll work. I just don't think. Oh wait, I have a less, look at this. This is what happens. You end up with like a bunch of brushes. This one's less dirty. And I feel like this is a more popular brush. So we're going to use the 3D brush. I changed my mind. I'll still use the detail brush for contour. I lied. I'm a mess. Sorry. All right, so we're going to use this short end and I'm going to go into my main highlight now. And just like all my other color correcting, the method for applying your main highlight, you don't want anything sticking together. You're going to go on the lower part of your face. This is just going to balance your skin tone. That's all I'm doing right now is balancing my skin tone. Makeup isn't meant to hide. It's meant to enhance what you want to enhance and make you feel good in your skin. And this gives a skin-like finish. So I am just applying to balance my skin tone. And I'm not needing a lot of makeup. It's 80% pigmentation versus traditional, which is 18. I say that all the time, but it's true. You don't need as much. So if you have large pores, you're going to take a brush like the 3D brush, or you can do a blush and bronzer brush. Use this short end and you're going to, so I have larger pores up in this area. I have acne scarring. I camouflage with Aspen, but this isn't about acne scarring. This is the hyperpigmentation, but I'm going to take this brush and when I'm bringing it up over my pores and over my discoloration, I'm going to stipple this. This is great for maturing skin. You want to press it in. So stippling is the method. And so you just want to press this in and get your coverage and your balance. This is our face. And I only put this on the lower portion, the beard of my face. So again, my skin is good. It just is uneven. The skin is uneven. It's just what it is. Skin is skin. My skin is uneven. If you have that perfect skin, God bless you. I don't. And that's okay, but I really enjoy the ritual of makeup. I always have. It's been just like my peaceful time. It makes me happy. That may be shallow. I don't care. So I'm going to balance my skin here, and then I'm coming up on my cheek where that, I like the stipple method the best because my skin is maturing. I mean, I'm going to be 43 in a month. Send me presents. Just kidding. Don't. But pressing this in just like that. Super easy. It blends like a dream. My nose has some redness, so I just use my main highlight just to put it down. Put her down. Put her to bed. Okay? All right. That's the method of applying over. Now we're going to get into our contours. I'm going to use a different contour. I do like indigo, and my hyperpigmentation isn't necessarily a focal point, so I'm going to use the color Stone. It's so pretty. I like Stone, Olive, Ash, Cedar. I love all of those, and those are typically where I live when I'm recommending a contour for somebody who has hyperpigmentation. Olive, Ash, Stone, and Cedar. Those are really great. Cedar is really great. I just don't have it on me right now. Is it right here? Nope, that's all of it. But That is my favorite contour, especially with hyperpigmentation. I live on having cedar contour. It's so good, but right now I have stone. I use them all. I mean, I've got them. Why not use them? All right, so we're gonna go with the detail brush. I like this brush for contouring, especially when you're getting into your cheeks and your nose. All right, so I'm gonna go into stone. I'm gonna press, always press, never wipe. I don't care how dense your contour feels. Wiping is illegal in the contour business of Seint. I'm kidding, that's very dramatic. I'm a dramatic person, but I'm not sticking together. And I'm gonna go right here. Now, if you have hyperpigmentation up here, the same method, just depending on what you want, I would recommend something dense like a contour if you have hyperpigmentation on your forehead, because you do put a lot up there. You put your contour on there. I would wait and see if your contour will cover it. If it's just your forehead, I would wait and see what your contour can do, because again, I do take that into account. I'll usually recommend cedar. But we're gonna bring that up and we just really go along the hairline, and then right here on the corners, we bring it down. And if you have correcting up here on your forehead, it's just spouncing. Bing, 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 just T-I double gut your forehead, all right? Tigger, tigger, tigger. Okay, it's bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. Who am I this morning? It's called 4 cups of coffee. All right, I'm gonna go into linen. This is my brightening highlight, and I'm gonna go right here. I have a little red mark. This is not a pimple. This is something that's just happened. I don't know, but my linen's gonna cover it just fine. And I just put this on the middle. I just put the dot, and then I start fanning this over my brows. And then I go up like a sunrise, and I bring it out to that contour. I like to do the contour first and then the brightening, because sometimes my contour just comes down a little low, and I want to create a really nice balance on my forehead. So I'm able to do coverage. I'm able to have balance and dimension on my forehead, and I didn't have to put a main highlight up there because my brightening and my dark contour work together. Your brightening should be lighter than your skin tone because it's giving that illusion of reflecting light right there. It's enhancing it. It's accentuating the loveliness of brightening. All right, we're gonna grab, I'm on the small end of that detail brush, and I'm just gonna hit my Cupid's bow and my chin. And again, all I'm doing here is creating dimension. I had already put a light coverage of main highlight there. This just needs an accent. It's an accent. I'm gonna get my redness right there. Okay, we're gonna go in with more contour on our nose. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can use the brush, live on the edge of the brush, and then I'm gonna use this mirror because, well, maybe I can do it. Can I do it? I like to put this on the top side. I kind of want to use my finger. I have a bump on my nose and I struggle with it. Or you can use your finger and you just tap some on, and you can draw and have a little more control over placement here, like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to blend this down. I bring it over my bump, and then we're going to square off the tip, just like that. We're going to take this brush and we're going to just stipple over it, and I'm going to blend. For me, stippling works because, again, I have that bump. So if I rub or swipe, it's going to create a high point, and I don't like that. And then I bridge it together. It's going to be okay, I promise. Get that tip and just bring it around. This is going to be okay. You end up with a big brown spot in the middle of your face, but that's why we're going to do all this other stuff that's going to help. Like adding with my pinky, I'm going to take my brightening, and I'm going to go right down the middle. And I go right here, just like that. I'm going to use an empty finger, and we're going to tap it. Tap, tap, tap. All right? Tappy, 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 tap. All right. Pushing this up and into that brightening on my forehead, and it straightened it out. I basically got all the contouring done I wanted, and I was able to straighten everything out with just adding that brightening after. All right, going back in, I'm going to live on the edge again into that contour. We're going to do our cheekbone. We have natural shadowing. We're going to go just above that, but below the cheekbone, stipple this, especially if you have that hyperpigmentation going on over here, because you're going to wipe it and move it if you're swiping. If you have problematic skin and you've done things to help hide it, you don't want to be swiping your makeup. So I have it nice and covered over here above that shadow. And this is why if I were to put indigo over here, that redness would grab my hyperpigmentation spot and it would just pull it through. And then you just follow that hairline up the temple and down. And you want to underblend this, okay? Because this is a foundational coverage and you're still trying to hide that hyperpigmentation, and you need room to let it blend down when you're adding bronzer, when you're adding blush, whatever, okay? Now we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna take whatever's left on this brush and I'm gonna use this to hide my chins. Maybe add a little more, and I'm gonna go in front of that earlobe and down. I like to add this and blend at the same time. Otherwise, I forget. And I can tell you, when you've gotten in your car and you found out you had a piece of spinach in your teeth or you have a poppy seed in your tooth and nobody told you, same here. Nobody's gonna tell you that you have a big mud smear on the side of your face, except your husband, who will ask you if it's something other than mud. It's like, sure it is, dear, sure it is. Anyway, there we go. All right, we're gonna be adding our bronzer and our blush. Now, I like a nice subtle when you're working. Okay, another thing, there's just things to take into account. If you have problematic skin, these are the things you're gonna have to think about. You don't have to think about it. Once you know your way, you're good, okay? I'm gonna use the 3D brush on this round end. I'm gonna go into Bella Bronzer. This picks up very easily. And we're gonna go at the top, so you see the contour. We're gonna go right up here on the cheekbone. We're just gonna add a touch of warmth. That's the difference between contour and bronzer. Warm versus cool. And then I hit right up here. This is where the sun hits, and we're just adding warmth. I like to start light and build, because the bronzer I'd use in the summer is not the bronzer I'm using in the fall or winter. Going above, and as I'm adding this, it's blending that contour a bit, which is why I say you want to underblend it a little bit. It's just this extra touch of warmth that just feels good, okay? It just feels good. I like a bold cheek. It's who I am. I am going to use a fluffy brush really quick, and I'm just going to add some bronzer to my neck because my neck's always lighter than my face. So we're just going to do that. I like a fluffy brush for this because I don't want a bunch of makeup on my neck. All right, so my blush. I like bold blushes, okay? Sandstone is one of my favorites for fall. It's also really great in the summer because it's got a warmth to it, so it gives you that yummy warmness. Okay, so I'm going to use this, but because I have stuff, acne, scarring, hyperpigmentation, I don't want it to pull it through. So I'm going to take Frenchie here. You will use all of your product. And I'm going to grab Frenchie. I'm going to try to grab Frenchie. I can't melt it. It'll just cook it. All right, we got Frenchie on the finger. I'm going to go right over, you know your face. I'm going right over where my discoloration is with Frenchie. I need to add a new one. This is today, the last day. And I could scrape this out, put it into a new one. Going over my acne scarring here as my blush. It's going to get blended down and it's going to work with it. Now I have that hyperpigmentation, putting a little bit on there. I'm going to take this round brush and I'm going to go into Sandstone. A little bit. This stuff picks up more than Bella Bronzer. I'm going to add here and then I'm going to add here. I try to split it because you will always over apply on your brush with Sandstone. I'm going to hit the top part of my cheek here, smile, and I'm going to bring it down over that Frenchie, and they're going to work together to give me this really pretty blush. Now I can punch this up if I want, or I can keep it nice and subtle and hit the pumpkin patch. But I'm hitting that cheekbone, coming down into Frenchie, and it's working over that hyperpigmentation spot. There's just things to think about, and I know once you start getting I just feel like that's the most polite way to say it. Once you start seeing these things start happening to your skin, you think about it all. I think about it. If you're somebody who wants it covered, you think about it, and that's all there is to it. If you're watching this and you're like, yeah, okay, I want to cover it, then these are the steps you'll have to take. And once you know where everything goes, it goes quick. All right, we're going to do our under eyes. I'm going to use the pointy end, and I'm going to go into my brightening. This is going to help bring down the nose. This is going to help bring down my blush a bit because it gets a little high. And I'm just going to add a little. You barely, I mean, do you even see it's on there? I smile and you'll see that shine. We're just going to pop it there and go up that orbital. Grab a little more. I mean, you don't even see it on there. Smile again, and we're going to bring that up to the inner corner. This is going to correct. It's going to give you a bright under eye. I like mine to be pretty punchy. So my main highlight is Athens. My brightening highlight is Linen. It's light. I like it pumpy. Like if you like a good bold brightness under your eye, let me know and I'll make sure you have it. If you want it to be a little more subtle, you can use your main highlight. You could skip the brightening altogether if you want, or we can find something that's a little bit more subtle. But I think this gives you a nice youthful look under your eye. I use balm to prep it because I don't like creasing, and it just makes it glide like a dream. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? I like the way it makes me feel. but it tones down that contour on your nose. Like that. It's good. It's good stuff. I'm going to use whatever's left and just touch up my nose. And we're good. All right, I'm going to take that contour and I'm going to do this on my lips. I want to try a new lip combo. So you're going to bear with me on that. I like to have a semi-finished product. We're not going to do eyeshadow. I don't do that anymore. I break it up. I'm doing this new method. I'm calling it a trend that it's not. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but I'm calling it oh gosh, now it's like left me. I'm doing a spotlight color and I'll think of it. I need to get plum. Oh, fiddle faddle. What did we call it? I was talking to another artist on my team. We were trying, oh gosh, I can't remember. It'll come to me. All right, I'm gonna go into the color. Gosh, I can't decide if I wanna do nude or plum. I'm gonna do nude to line my lips, and then I'm gonna fill it in with Homecoming. If you got Homecoming when it was available, you're in for a hopeful treat. Hopefully this works out. We'll see if I like it. All right, I'm gonna use a small palette just to apply this. So I'm gonna go in with nude. I'm using the multitasker brush, and I am going to line with, I'm gonna use the small end, it's easier. I'm gonna line. It is a deep color. All right, and we're gonna line down here. Gosh, what were we calling? I'm trying to think. Gradient. A gradient fall trend. It's like a smoky eye, and I just think this is going to be a really popular way of applying eyeshadow. And so I'm going to make that tutorial today and then add some things to it throughout the week and then share it next weekend. All right, so I line my lips with plum. No, not plum, nude. Should I try plum instead? Is that darker? No, I just tried a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go into Homecoming, which I have in my palette. It is so good. It might still be available on the website, and we're just going to grab that. It is a gloss, so it's like a lipstick, and I'm going to apply it with it. I just thought this would be so pretty together. Okay, I like that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I think my kids are fighting. That's great. No, they love each other. Okay. That's it. That is what you need to do for hyperpigmentation. I'm going to take my Seint setting spray. Here's the trick. Up. Let it fall on your face like it's New Year's Eve confetti. While it is still damp on your face, we're going to grab some setting spray or setting powder, my vanilla dust. I keep 2 in my palette because I have oily skin, and I'm going to set on the perimeter of my face and then bring it in while it's still damp. I let them work together, and this helps minimize texture. And that's why I start out here, and then as it empties, I bring it in. It's still in there, but I still like that dewy finish. So I always start outside and bring it in, and then I hit those areas where I have the most oil on my face. All right, I'm gonna put a picture of my final look with my eyes done now. I touch my hair too much, sorry. I tried something new. We'll see. Okay, have a great day.
So the eyeshadow thing. So